Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Monday. Welcome to another market open stream today. Let's talk about another institution, another bank FOMOing into Bitcoin. So that is why it's so exciting right now. All of last week, very exciting. More excitement for this week. And let's talk about all these things and more. There's the market bell. Hey, market bell is still working great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at this. 30,400. This right here is when I went on vacation last week. And then, boom, that's what happened. We went up for, what? Yeah, 4,000 points for Bitcoin in a single week. It has been very, very exciting. And it's going to become even more exciting as we move forward. The FOMO right now is real. It's real. Every institution is thinking about how to jump in. It's been one after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And this is happening despite the U.S. market not doing so well. Last week, the U.S. market was very red. In fact, NASDAQ was in the red last week, okay? Very red. So this is also positive because it shows how strong Bitcoin can be as it decoupled away from the U.S. market, right? There's been times where it's 100% correlated, been times where it has decoupled, right? Like last week in a good way. Bitcoin jumped up massively while everything else was in the red. So this is getting really exciting indeed. We know that this is all due to ETF fever. Okay, Bitcoin ETF does exist in other countries already, like Canada, for example. But in the U.S., it's just massive. All the money's here. Wall Street's here, right? Everyone is looking at U.S. and seeing what the U.S. is going to do. You know, the funny thing is, no one seems to remember about Gary Gensler, right? Like all of last week, we didn't hear a peep out of Gary Gensler or the SEC. What happened to the lawsuit with Coinbase and Binance? It seems like no one cares or no one takes it seriously since BlackRock said, yeah, Gary, you know what? We're going to need you to approve our Bitcoin ETF. And since then, everyone's been jumping in. And we have another exchange that even got released last week, right? Like, I didn't even have time to look at that exchange. We have a new exchange backed by Charles Schwab and Fidelity and the 3 other banks, right? That opened up like all of a sudden on top of all the Bitcoin ETF news. I mean, it's just an onslaught of good things that happen, and more will be coming. ProShares already has a future-based Bitcoin ETF. Not the same. It's not settled or using real Bitcoins, just using Bitcoin futures. However, the volume is exploding right now because everyone wants a piece. That's what's happening right now. These big boys all want a piece of the pie. I've been telling you guys for over a year, FOMO is real. It happens to everyone. And a lot of these big boys been accumulating behind the scenes. Why do you think BlackRock all of a sudden wants to offer a Bitcoin ETF? They've probably been accumulating Bitcoin since, who knows? Since 2018, maybe. They've been talking about it since 2018. Maybe they've been accumulating all the way since that last decline, or maybe they start accumulating in the beginning of 2022 or mid 2022. Whatever the case, these guys have been accumulating and now they're ready to offer. So yeah, that's what's happening. HSBC is the latest bank to FOMO in. They're not offering their own Bitcoin ETF, but they are enabling Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF trading in Hong Kong now. This is under a lot of pressure from China telling HSBC and all the other banks in Hong Kong to be pro-crypto, despite the fact they know that they will only bring their demise earlier, but they have no choice. Okay, so So we know that Hong Kong and China are both becoming very pro crypto as well. This will definitely help in the coming bull market. It's all related. It's all connected, right? The pieces are starting to fall one after another. And this is all great. Extremely great. Yeah, so I mean there's just so much going on right now. Futures, which is not using real Bitcoin ETF, it's just basically a market that's tracking Bitcoin's price movement, of course, has been exploding as well because Bitcoin has been exploding, the price has been exploding. So of course the volume of futures is exploding. The biggest bets since Terra's collapse, and that's beginning of 2022 when we were coming off in 2021. So Bitcoin back then was still like 40 or 50,000. So we're not that far off. We're getting closer, but futures volume is exploding. So of course that relates to everything else that's going on. And this Friday, we will get an options expiration. One of the largest, 6.8 billion. And because of this, we could see a lot more movement, okay, by the end of this week. You know, for a long time, we see this phenomenon where right before expiration, we get a lot of volatility. We see things moved up or down due to how the whales want the market to move, right? So right now, it'll be interesting. All the momentum is on the bullish side. So are we going to see this Friday end where Bitcoin gets, you know, the next resistance, I would say, is right around here, 31.6. Are we going to see Bitcoin get pushed past there? We've been holding pretty steady here. Ever since we broke 30,000, it's been like really flat. So it'll be interesting to see the next level Bitcoin breaks into and consolidates. And the reason why I drew that 31.6 is due to this. We have not seen those levels, right, since here. Basically, over a year ago, that was when Terra collapsed. So if you zoom out, it's almost like a big U-shaped recovery, right? No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It doesn't look like a U-shape, but we're getting back there. And just imagine what comes after 31.6. Well, look at this big gap right here. Of course, there are a few stops here or there, but Bitcoin starts moving very rapidly to the high 30s, 40s, 50s that many people have predicted that Bitcoin will be at by July anyways, right? So this is all fitting. This is all happening according to plan. So after this Friday, and maybe even leading up to it, we could see a greater push that sends Bitcoin above 31.6, and next stops may be like 35,000, 38,000. These are the next resistance points, and then as high as 40,000. Things move really quickly. That's why I've been telling you guys to stay strong, stay focused, especially on the future, HODL and DCA, because you know, throughout all this, even some of these dips, okay, when you zoom out, it seems like you know, it's really nothing. But you know, we have gone through a lot of these. These took months upon months, and during these times, a lot of people told you guys, well, Bitcoin's going to form a new low, go down to 12,000 or 10,000. Hey, those guys cost you a lot of money if you listen to them. Okay, the true way to win is DCA and HODL. That's it. Don't try to outsmart the market. Don't think that you draw some lines and you know where Bitcoin's going. Okay? You don't. Did they know that BlackRock was going to announce a Bitcoin ETF? No. Right? So this is why. You DCA and HODL, ignore the fudders. Okay? Ignore the naysayers and focus on what's coming. And there are great things coming. And when they come really fast. So hey, we're 30,500. We may get some more excitement during this stream. All right, moving on. What else is there? This is important. I mean, history doesn't always repeat, but it tends to rhyme. Okay, so you look at going all the way back to the beginning. Yes, at the very beginning, there was some explosions, but after we had that fall, right, in 2014, the very first one, you can see, then we had 3 good years. Then we had another fall in 2018. Then we had 3 good years. We had a fall in 2022. So what do you think is going to come after next, right? History, again, doesn't always repeat, but it tends to rhyme. It really does. It tends to rhyme. So if we're following what has happened before, this year should be a phenomenal year. Next year will be even better. And then a year after that will be explosion. Even better. Okay, so that is what we have to look forward to. Also, in terms of whale ratio is plummeting. And what is whale ratio? Well, the Bitcoins that's going into the exchanges, okay? When you see a large number of that, a large number of Bitcoin coming into the exchanges from whales, that's bad. But when the whale numbers start dropping, that's good. That's good. That means the whales are accumulating and not selling, right? Just like, look at what happened in November. Look at that huge drop, right? That was when Bitcoin fell to its low point. And look at right now, we just had a huge drop, meaning the whales are like, okay, we're not going to be selling anymore. We're going to be accumulating and buying, right? That's what's happening. That's what's happening right now. And then you look at the number of Bitcoin being hodled for over 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years, all-time high. Every single one, right? 1 year, around 69%. 2 years, around 56%. 3 years at 40%. And 5 years at 29%. So what do you think is going to happen to the price when the number of holders and the number of Bitcoins being held keeps on going up and demand keeps on increasing? I mean, it's just, you just do the math. It's really that simple, right? Number of addresses above 1, Wholecoiners, continues to explode. Over 1 million. It surpassed 1 million months ago, but still continues to climb higher. Those of you guys that are trying to achieve this, continue forward, please. Those of you guys that have already done this, well, congratulations. Aim for 2, aim for 5, aim for 10, aim for 100. Right? It's a game of accumulation. The more you accumulate, the better it is. I mean, just look at Michael Saylor. He figured it out. He's figured it out. Maybe irresponsibly, but still, he's figured it out. And that's what most are trying to do. Institutions are doing that as well, too. These institutions are just accumulating more and more as they can, and that is what we should do as well. Last few things. I saw this DXY. This is not a measurement of Bitcoin. This is actually a measurement DXY. I haven't talked about DXY in a long time. The strength of the dollar. And whenever the strength of the dollar starts going down, guess what happens to Bitcoin and crypto? It starts going higher. Okay? This happened in 2016, 2017, happened in 2021. Guess what? DXY has just started to turn red. Again, correlating with everything I've just been saying, the macro conditions now are getting better as well. Okay? And I'll talk about some of the other macro conditions that I haven't talked about in a while. But yeah, even a DXY is pointing to favorable conditions moving forward. Okay? And on top of all this, you have half of the Fortune 100 companies that have started a crypto initiative. Half, that's a lot. That's a lot. Still waiting for the big boys like Apple to say something, or they go integrate some kind of wallet or some kind of integration with Apple Pay, right? What about Microsoft? They kind of dabbled in. Amazon dabbled in. Google, right? There's just this. That's just like the top 4, but you know, there's so many others that are looking to utilize blockchain ledger, self-custody, and many other things with their future products. Okay, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Also, some of you guys may be wondering about VeChain. Coinbase did say They will be adding VeChain and VeThor, although they did not say when it was going to happen. But since this announcement, VeChain has been moving pretty good. So glad to see that, in case you're wondering. And then, as for the U.S. market, let's see today. Today's green. That's good because last week, not so good. A lot of red days. But as for macro stuff, Fed Chair Powell is speaking twice, and someone else, Bostic, is also speaking. I don't know why there needs to be so many speeches, and this obviously is wrong. 2:30 a.m. That's not right. But you have Powell speaking. Hopefully, he doesn't say anything bad. We just got a pause 2 weeks ago. Okay. People are wondering what's going to happen in July. We're not in July yet, so not something I'm worried about right now. But, in terms of economic news, there is a lot. GDP comes out, home sales, and durable goods, and jobless claims, and pending home sales. We got a lot of this stuff all the time. All the time. But you know what? Bitcoin does not care. Bitcoin continues forward. Okay? The entire crypto market cap has been lifted to 1.18 trillion. Although Bitcoin dominance has been flying. It came down slightly. It was at 50% yesterday. It's 49.9%. So look at this. Last 7 days, Bitcoin went up about 15%, Ethereum about 9%, Cardano about 11%. Even though most people have gained, a lot have trailed Bitcoin, which is why dominance is so high. Makes you wonder how high it can go. Don't know at this point. All right, guys. Things are looking good. Really good. Really exciting. I should take more vacations. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Got 3,600 people in here watching. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see if I missed anything here. ETFs being improved around the world. Yup. And in case you guys don't know, the difference between a futures ETF and a spot ETF, futures ETF is just all settled in cash, paper. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin really other than tracking Bitcoin's price. But a spot ETF will be tracking Bitcoin's price, but also require that the fund issuer to hold Bitcoin. So that's the big difference. Futures, these fund managers don't have to hold any Bitcoin. With spot, they do. The more volume, the more buying of those ETFs require more buying and holding of Bitcoin. That's why a spot Bitcoin ETF is so different and much more favorable than a futures one. Gata Life, that's the difference. And leverage ETFs are based on futures right now. Brazil, Flavio. Hopefully that's how you say it. Welcome, welcome. Actually, when I was down in I visited the very first KFC. They have a nice museum. I met someone there that was attending University of Kentucky. That caught me by surprise. But yeah, there's a lot of weird and cool places to visit. I don't know. I just thought I'd throw that out there. And yes, you could still buy chicken there at that museum. They kind of changed it into a museum, but you could still get a good KFC meal there. Any bad news for crypto this week? There's nothing really bad. Maybe Paul says something bad. I've not heard anything back from Gary. Nothing really from Gary for a long time. It's kind of spooky, like what's going on there. Seems like all of a sudden everyone forgot about the SEC ever since the BlackRock news. And you gotta think that Gary's not so happy about what's going on right now. Peter, wanted to ask if you heard from Dreamer or the team regarding DeFi Kingdoms. Their whole ecosystem have been trending up lately. Thoughts? Well, I've been talking to them. I know exactly what the plan is, right? Whether or not that relates to their ecosystem trending up, I don't know. I mean, with the market coming back, there's some enthusiasm there, right? But they still have a lot of work to do. But I am talking to them. So... and there's more that I can't share at this point. I went to the world's largest 7-Eleven. Where's that at? Did you guys see? Have you guys been following me on Twitter? Because I've been playing this Where I Am game, and people love it. People love it. Hopefully you guys have been, I've been giving out some free NFTs as well to my event in Vegas. In case you guys have more money now and you want to attend, please do so. The VIV party that's coming up in about a month. It's going to be a good turnout. Some of you guys did buy your tickets already, but in case you haven't, make sure you check it out in the description. But this is really cool. I mean, whether you're religious or not, seeing this freaking arc, okay, in life, in the middle of nowhere, that's freaking cool. It's as big as a cruise ship, basically. It's massive, massive. So, stuff like this. There's a lot of, like, cool stuff that you just don't know that exists. Same thing with this history of the bucket. Send us the Gensler's OnlyFans link. Well, I wouldn't be in charge of that. You're going to have to ask Gensler yourself. Today's green. New Apple Watch Ultra with iPhone 15. Don't they already have a Watch Ultra? Like Apple just knows how to milk their stuff. They're not even getting into Web3. Apple just keeps milking it with their hardware. I just wonder at what point does that stop working? They're not profitable at anything else other than iPhones and their apps. Watches, iPads, their iMacs, their new VR thing that's going to be a complete flop does not help them make any money at all. Their subscription program, I guess, does help them make money, but I just wonder, like, at what point did people stop upgrading so much? Or maybe that never happens. Maybe I'm foolish in thinking that that is going to happen. I don't know. Like, Microsoft is all cloud now and AI, obviously. Google's trying to copy that game. Facebook, don't know what the hell they're doing with their metaverse stuff. But yeah, Apple is still so closed. Let's see, what's the worst, best performance? Actually, Bitcoin Cash, which is actually both of these, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV, should be removed. Worst performing coin on the top 100 is Rocket Pool. But actually, in the last 7 days, very little in the red, almost everything in the green. The best performing is Bitcoin Cash, probably because that new exchange came out and listed Bitcoin Cash. Pepe went up tremendously, 70%. And then Stacks, which is programmable language on top of Bitcoin, also went up. Conflux is from China. That makes a lot of sense. Near Protocol, they did something with Alibaba recently, so they're up about 11% today. They're pretty good. Kava had some USDT news. That gave them a boost. VeChain, the Coinbase news. Aave's down huge today. Not sure why, but they're still up. Injective doing really good. Ethereum Classic and Uniswap. Thorchain, no idea. eCash, no idea. But Phantom and Chainlink had a pretty good week. Yeah. Immutable X, Avalanche. These barely outperformed Bitcoin. They had a pretty good week. Pretty good week. I look younger today. New lighting. No. It's just my regular setup. Man, I ate so much over this last week. I really need to stop doing that. I need to get fit for my Vegas event. Oh, we're jumping up. We're jumping up. Let's zoom in a little bit. 30,500. Our recent peak was 31,000 here. That was yesterday. We shot up to 31,000, and then before that we got 31,400. It's not too far off. Less than 1,000 points. Oh, 30,600. Something's happening. Oh, we just broke out of this high. Any thoughts on why Bitcoin Maxi is spreading FUD on XRP? Bitcoin Maxis like to spread FUD everywhere. I don't know if just on XRP. Let's see. If Vegas says 40K, I might be able to come to your Vegas event. You mean Bitcoin? Well, don't wait too long. Draw the arrow. 31K coming. I already have it. Don't need to draw it. This is the next major resistance right here. 31.6. If we could break through that, you know, who knows what's next. I mean, this is how it looks zoomed out, right? So we're obviously pressed against this. This is a major resistance right here. Also from this point, right? But if you break through it, then 35, 38, 40 will be right around the corner. The only thing is, if you look at a longer time scale, like the weekly, like you look at stochastic and RSI, stochastic just bounced and has plenty of room to grow. RSI is not too high either, so plenty of room to grow. And MACD actually just flipped into green too. So from an indicator perspective, on a weekly scale, it looks fantastic. Fantastic. But if you look on a daily scale, it does look like we have topped and we're going to come down a little bit, right? All these are oversold levels, overbought levels. 4 hour is looking good. Looks like it wants to flip. So we may consolidate here for a while because of how high, how overbought things are. But from a longer perspective, weekly, it looks fantastic. So we definitely have enough room to get driven up to, I don't know, 40, 50K. Four hours looking pretty good, though. We'll see. We'll see. Chris, videography. The George effect is happening right now. A little bit. Little bit. I'm out of coffee. I mean, do you guys realize that 30,000 Bitcoin, we just like wiped out? Okay, so like the last time we were above 30,000 was here, right? May 7th. And then we did this and this and this, right? And when it got to here, people got really depressed, right? So we basically wiped out a month and a half from here to here, month and a half, like almost instantly, right? So it goes to show you how fast things could move. That's why you never want to give up. You never want to doubt Bitcoin or FOMO, really, if you think about it. Fortune Hunter, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea if that's your name or what. I have no clue. Did I cover the BlackRock news? What, is there more BlackRock news from today? People will be bored even if we hit 50K again in a few days. You know, unfortunately, that's true because people get used to a certain level really quick and then forget how far we have come. You know, even here. Even here, when we fell to 24.8, people were getting all depressed, but people forget we were down here just not too long ago, right? So people forget really quickly, get used to a level, and then it kind of becomes boring again. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Long term, we know this is the way. All right, guys. Let's conclude. Overall, today is not a good day for U.S. market. Well, it's okay. It's going to turn red, it looks like. But we have another bank, aka institution, that's FOMO in. This is not offering Bitcoin ETF themselves, but they will allow ETF trading to commence. And volume is exploding, and there's still so much goodness that's coming. We have a big expirations as well, right? We have, oh, I didn't even cover this. Well, I did cover this, and then there's a report about Jim Cramer turning neutral on Bitcoin again. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But yeah, there's that. But there's a lot of goodness, guys. A lot of goodness. So we'll see what happens this week. Smash a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.